Kia ora, welcome to History in the Making. My name's Phoebe and I'm a programmer at Toitū Otago Settlers Museum. Since the lockdown I've been busy creating activities for Toitū Kids to do at home. And today we're going to learn about weaving. In Dunedin in the 1850s, there were 3 little houses on the hill behind the township in a place known as Little Paisley. And the reason it was called Little Paisley was because the people who lived there were early settlers who came from Paisley in Scotland, and they were ex-weavers. The most famous of them was John Barr, and Mr. Barr had a weaving loom made in his home. Do you know what a loom is? It's used to weave cloth and tapestry. The loom holds the warp threads nice and tight so that the weft threads can be woven under and over. Warp is that which is thrown across, and the weft is that which is woven. So with his home loom, Mr. Barr wove the first fabric cloth in Dunedin. Now another type of weaving had been around for hundreds of years earlier in Otago, harakeke weaving. Southern Māori were highly skilled in using plants like harakeke and tea to make clothes. And then when whalers and sailors and other settlers brought wool to Otago, these were incorporated into Māori garments as well. The cloth made by Mr. Barr used a European technique, one that he would have learnt in Paisley in Scotland, a town very famous for its weaving. So I'm going to show you how to make your own loom using cardboard. Then together we'll learn the basics of weaving yarn. I'm going to use woolen yarn, but if you don't have any, you can try using twine instead. So first you'll need a piece of card around 15 by 10 centimetres, is quite good. Next thing we'll want to mark out evenly spaced lines along the top and the bottom edge for us to cut along. Right, so what you'll need is some yarn. You can use as many colours as you like, or you could just use one. A needle, marker, scissors, ruler, and of course the card. So first thing we're going to do is cut the yarn to lengths. This is approximately 80 centimetres, which will be fine, and I've chosen 3 colours. So what we'll first do is mark out our top cuts. So I'm going to do 1 centimetre apart. And then the other side. Okay, cool. So now you're just going to go along carefully with a pair of scissors, making insertions where these marks are, around 1 centimetre in depth and width. Doesn't have to be perfect. These cuts are what is going to hold in place the yarn. Take your ball of yarn, thread the end through the top right corner and leave a tail almost the length of the card. So you just want to leave that there. Now okay, so now you have your tail. You want that to be about the length of the card. So turn that over, and then we're just going to wind downwards through that bottom cut. Turn it over again, and we're just going to go back and forth winding yarn all the way around into the cuts to make your Okay, now we're down to that last cut. We just wanted to fill all the card. Now we want to cut that just long enough so it can attach with the other tail. So about diagonal length. Tie those together. Nice and tight. Okay, so this is going to be essentially your mini loom here. And then we want to take the first piece of yarn that you're going to use. You can use as many colours as you like. I'm just going to use 3 here today and then I'll alternate those slightly, but you can also choose to just use the one and just have one long piece of string. So I'm just threading that through the needle, and then we just want to tie a knot in here so that it holds in place. Alright, so we begin from left to right here. What you want to do is begin weaving under and over. So threading through, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And you'll find your own little technique for doing this once you get the hang of it. So you're going to pull that thread over to the other side, leaving yourself a little bit of a tail here at the end, and just pull your yarn down to the bottom here. Okay, so now we're going the opposite direction, and we're going to begin with an under because we've finished with an over here, and you always want to alternate that. So we've got over, so we begin here with an under, and just like before, right to the end. Pulling this way, but not too tightly. Push your yarn down slightly. You can make that a little bit tighter by pulling a bit more to the left, but we don't want to make it too tight because we don't want to be pulling these strings. We want to keep them nice and straight. Okay, so there's our first row. Now I'm going to change colours here. So to do that, we just snip off the yarn, leaving about the same size tail, and then just attach your next colour. So I'm going to use this nice mustard yellow. So we just want to continue going left to right and right to left, right until we fill up the loom to the top. So now our loom is pretty much full. We just want to push down each of the rows so they're nice and tight. Okay, and then we have to do something with all these loose tails here. So we could just cut them off, or what we're going to do is just hide some of them by threading them through the loops along the left hand side here. then just work your way down. Alternatively, you can just tie the pairs together. Just trim those so they're a bit tidier. Okay, now you want to turn over your loom, cut your binding piece here. Now we want to cut all the way along here. Then you're going to take each pair and, like you did with the side, just tie them into knots, working your way all the way across. And then with the other side as well. So I'm just going to go around and tidy up some of these edges. Being careful not to actually cut into your weave. Also taking care not to cut yourself. You can tighten your knots a little now if you're worried that they may come undone. Okay. This is a very basic technique for weaving, which is used in many cultures. And there you have it. I hope you've had fun making your loom and learning to weave. In the next episode, we're going to learn how to make paisley patterns. Mā te wā.